Hi, and welcome to WindSail AI module number 1, where you're going to learn the powerful text capabilities of ChatGPT. First thing you need to do is to sign up for ChatGPT. You may use some other generative AI, maybe you have Microsoft Copilot, maybe Gemini. Feel free to use whatever, but for the purpose of making it easier to follow, you probably ought to go ahead and get ChatGPT. And it's real simple. Email, password, they send you a link, you're good to go. And the basic version, you can do a whole lot with it. The one thing is that by default, it does not keep your information is used to train models, and it goes basically into the system. And so don't share anything sensitive, company or otherwise. And you can change the settings or get a paid version where that doesn't happen. The other thing that you want to understand is that make sure that you know your company's policy for AI usage before using it for company purposes and protecting that company data. So for what we're doing here, it's all simple stuff. So you should be able to use it without any challenges. Keep in mind that I'm not going to explain a whole lot about these large language models, but just know they are just models with unfathomable amounts of written text in them that it's found patterns with, and it uses that to give the responses that you have. And most of the time they're on track, but I just want you to know that always check your work and make sure there's nothing wrong, because they sometimes have some minor mistakes or issues. Let's get started. So Bob, the optimist, is a founder who has no money and no ideas, but he wants to start a company. We're going to follow his journey as we go through these modules. And in the first module, Sam wants to meet with a banker. He wants to write an email to that banker so he can get an appointment. We're going to start. I'm going to give you a prompt that he has written, and you can see, hey, John, I have a new business idea. I want funding. Need to talk. Can you soon? Not great writing. Bob isn't the smartest guy in the world, but look how smart ChatGPT can make him look. So now you have a much more professional email that he can just copy and paste directly into his email. So he can also ask it to, give more detail. And these prompts, as we're writing them, is really your creativity. And it's pretty amazing what you can get out of this with the different prompts that you create. So here it went way overboard with what we're looking for. And it starts to do some guessing and gives you things you can fill out, but it begins to show you really a hint at the brainstorming capabilities of it, because it pulls other ideas from other things it's seen before. Some of the other things you can do to make it interesting, Bob likes to be different. So he said, you make this rhyme and do a rhyming one. So this is kind of wild. So John, I hope you're doing great. I've got an idea I'd love to state, a business concept, fresh and new, and I'd like to share it with you. Pretty cool. Bob didn't like it. So he's like, well, what about make it sound like Shakespeare? Now, I can't remember how to do it. Let's see if it figures it out. Yep, it figures it out. All right. A humble entreaty to discourse a noble venture. Good morrow, John, I bid thee well this day. So, of course, this is what Bob chose to do. Thankfully, Bob was able to get that meeting. But while he was getting ready for that meeting, there's something else he wanted to do. He wanted to actually write a social media post for his friends so he can tell them that he's up to something new and see if they could get anybody interested in helping him. A good way to work with ChatGPT is to, whenever you start something completely different, start a new chat. Because what happens is that you'll see over here the chats show up and they kind of have a name that makes sense for what you've done. But what's cool is that now when you go back, you can reference it. So in this case, he wanted to create a Facebook post for his friends. And so I'm going to copy in his prompt. And again, not surprisingly, pretty bad prompt. Just the basic stuff so that he could get a Facebook post written. And here's the post that we get. Oh, cool. We got some emojis coming in there, kind of fun and well written, and even has some hashtags. So that's pretty cool. So he copy pasted that, put that into Facebook. So now he has some professional friends. I'm not sure who the heck they are, but he wants a LinkedIn post. So let's go ahead and do a LinkedIn post of saying. And so the model does have enough context to know what a LinkedIn model should be versus a Facebook post. And you can see what it came up with here. Pretty cool stuff, right? So now I want to introduce you to what I think, at least recently, has been something that I found incredibly powerful. And that is taking personal notes from meetings. And so in this case, Bob, he got that meeting with the banker. He went to the banker. and had the meeting. And so afterwards, he wanted to summarize some notes for himself and others who were involved with them. And so that's what I just dropped in. And this is what I found. Bob didn't learn. I taught him to just write one word, kind of short things to remind you of what happened so you can go out in detail later. Rather than spending a whole lot of time actually typing, what you can do is this. You hit this little powerful button right here, dictate. And so you're going to have to allow access to the microphone. So now it's writing. So here, I'll summarize what happened. I met with John, the banker, on July 2nd, 2025. And what he told me was, I need a business plan. Essentially, what am I going to sell this stuff for? What is my cost? How many am I going to sell? How am I going to sell it? Am I going online, selling it out the back of my pickup truck? Where am I getting some of the other seed money from? And he recommended that Bob try again and maybe go after a small business association loan. Overall, Bob said he felt really dumb after this meeting. He realized he was unprepared, but it's going to motivate him to be much more on it in the future and go. So now I hit the check button. Check button. So now it's going to start transcribing. And there we go. Now we have that transcribed. So we'll go ahead and hit the arrow button. And now here's the cleaned up meeting summary. So you can see how much more professional and clear this is, and I can fill in all the gaps. And what's great is you can leave a meeting and you're walking out and you can just do that voice to text as you go. This has become a very powerful way for me to capture important conversations and my impressions of them afterwards. So I do in ChatGPT and I toss up my note-taking software. So now it's your turn. So take these powerful tools and apply them. So really simple stuff. So now it's your turn. This week, use ChatGPT or Gen AI to help you write an email. Write it in that platform and then drop it into your email. You'll love it, how much better it can make things. If you want to write a social media post, write one, and it'll do a great one for you. And finally, please use that meeting note capability because you'll be amazed at how much more you retain from meetings and the power of that. Thank you so much. Have an awesome week, and I can't wait for you to get to the next modules, and I know you're going to love the great productivity these new habits will give you. Thanks.